In the vast expanse of space, humanity had always wondered if we were alone. That question was answered on a cold October morning when massive shadows fell across every major city on Earth. The ships, sleek, crystalline structures that seemed to defy physics, hung silently in our skies, their presence both beautiful and terrifying. I remember standing on my apartment balcony in New York, coffee mug frozen halfway to my lips, watching as news helicopters circled the enormous vessel floating above Central Park. The morning sunlight caught its surface, creating rainbow refractions that danced across the city's glass towers. Social media exploded with videos and theories, but for once, even the conspiracy theorists were silent. This was real. When they finally made contact, it wasn't what anyone expected. No dramatic landing on the White House lawn, no grand speeches about peace and unity. Instead, a simple message broadcasted simultaneously on every electronic device worldwide. Your system has been identified for integration into the Galactic Empire. Prepare for preliminary assessment. The United Nations emergency session lasted just 6 hours, the shortest in history. Representatives from every nation agreed on one thing. Earth wouldn't bow to anyone, not even a spacefaring civilization. Our response was equally simple. Thanks, but no thanks. What followed was 3 days of absolute silence. The ships remained motionless, their presence a constant reminder of what lurked beyond our atmosphere. Scientists worked around the clock, analyzing every bit of data they could gather. Military forces worldwide remained on high alert, though everyone knew our weapons would probably be as effective as throwing pebbles at a tank. On the 4th day, something changed. The alien ships began to move, performing maneuvers that seemed impossible for their size. We thought this was it, the moment they'd force their integration upon us. Instead, a new message appeared. Initial assessment complete. Results unexpected. Further evaluation required. That's when things got really interesting. Small scout ships started appearing in various locations, observing our daily lives. They watched our sports events, monitored our internet traffic, and studied our response to natural disasters. They seemed particularly fascinated by how humans helped each other during crisis, regardless of national boundaries. 2 weeks into their observation, they'd witnessed Hurricane Sarah devastating the Caribbean. Without hesitation, aid poured in from around the globe. Rescue teams from dozens of countries worked side by side, saving lives and rebuilding communities. The aliens' scout ships hovered silently, recording everything. Then yesterday, something unprecedented happened. The Galactic Empire, for the first time in its 10,000-year history, withdrew an integration notice. Their final message was brief but shocking. Species displays unique characteristics incompatible with standard imperial protocols. Independent status granted. No further contact authorized without human initiation. Just like that, they left. The massive ships disappeared in a flash of light that briefly turned night into day. But they left us with something more valuable than any advanced technology, the knowledge that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our weapons or our science, but our unpredictability and our unbreakable spirit of independence. Now, as I sit here recording this, I can't help but wonder, what did they see in us that made one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy back off? And more importantly, what does this mean for humanity's future among the stars? Because one thing's for certain, they're out there, watching, waiting to see what we'll do next. And somehow, I think we've only just begun to show them what humanity is truly capable of. 3 months have passed since the Galactic Empire's unexpected departure, and Earth has changed in ways none of us could have predicted. The sight of those massive ships might have faded from our skies, but their impact on human society has been permanent and profound. We've entered what historians are already calling the post-contact era, and it's reshaping everything from international politics to children's playground games. The most fascinating development has been the formation of the Global Space Initiative, GSI, an unprecedented collaboration between nations that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. Former rivals are now pooling their resources and knowledge, driven by a shared purpose, preparing humanity for whatever lies beyond our solar system. The Chinese Space Agency and NASA are actually sharing data now. If that's not a sign of how much things have changed, I don't know what is. I've been documenting these changes as part of my work with the United Nations Observer Team. Last week, I visited a research facility in Switzerland where scientists are studying the few traces the alien ships left behind. The most intriguing discovery was a pattern of quantum disturbances in the atmosphere, like fingerprints of their advanced technology. Dr. Chen, the lead physicist, believes these disturbances might hold clues about their propulsion systems. But it's not just the scientific community that's been transformed. There's been a subtle but significant shift in how we view ourselves as a species. The knowledge that we're not alone, and more importantly, that we somehow impressed or puzzled one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy, has given humanity a new sense of purpose and pride. School children now dream of becoming xenoanthropologists instead of traditional astronauts. They want to understand not just the stars, but the civilizations that inhabit them. There are theories, of course, about why the Empire withdrew. The most compelling one comes from a team of sociologists in Brazil. They suggest that our seemingly chaotic way of organizing ourselves, our mixture of competition and cooperation, our ability to fight amongst ourselves yet unite against external threats, might have appeared incomprehensible to a highly structured empire, like trying to integrate a wild river into a network of carefully regulated canals. But there's something else, something we've only recently begun to notice. Strange signals have been detected at the edge of our solar system, too irregular to be natural, too subtle to be from the Empire. Other civilizations are watching us, studying how we stood up to the Empire and lived to tell the tale. We've become something of a cosmic curiosity. Yesterday, a classified report landed on my desk. Astronomical observations from multiple countries have confirmed that the Empire's ships didn't just leave our solar system, they established a perimeter around it. They're maintaining a distance of roughly 2 light years, just far enough to observe without interfering. It seems our independent status comes with a silent watchdog. The questions keep multiplying. Are we being protected or contained? Did we pass their test, or did we fail in such a spectacular way that they decided to quarantine us? And what about these other civilizations showing interest in Earth? Are they potential allies, or are they simply waiting to see what happens to the planet that said no to the Galactic Empire? As I write this, sitting in my New York apartment with the same view that showed me our first glimpse of the Empire, I can't shake the feeling that we're living in the calm before another storm. Humanity is changing, growing, preparing. But for what? The Empire's departure wasn't the end of our story. It was barely the beginning. And somewhere out there, in the vast darkness between the stars, decisions are being made about Earth's future. The first signs of trouble came 6 months after my last report. Our deep space monitoring stations picked up unusual activity beyond Neptune. The Empire's observation ships were moving, breaking their carefully maintained perimeter. At first, we thought they were finally leaving, but the reality was far more concerning. They were making way for something bigger. The GSI's early warning system lit up like a Christmas tree. Whatever was approaching dwarfed the Empire's previous ships. Our most advanced calculations suggested it was roughly the size of Ireland, and it was heading straight for Earth. This time, there was no hovering, no dramatic reveal. The massive vessel emerged from hyperspace just beyond the moon's orbit, its surface a patchwork of lights and structures that made it look like a floating city. The message we received wasn't from the Empire this time. "We are the collective," it began, "and we've come to offer Earth a choice." Their proposition was simple yet terrifying. They were a group of civilizations that had broken away from the Empire, and they wanted Earth to join their alliance. The catch? We would have to prove our worth by sharing our most unique characteristic, our ability to resist imperial control. Global leaders gathered in emergency sessions while the collective ship waited patiently. They wanted our resistance protocols, our strategies for maintaining independence. What they didn't understand was that we had no protocols, no grand strategy. Our strength came from something they couldn't quantify, human nature itself. But here's where it gets complicated. Our long-range sensors detected Imperial ships moving in from all directions. The Empire wasn't going to sit idly by while the collective recruited Earth. We were caught in the middle of a galactic power struggle, and our next move could trigger a war that would make our world wars look like playground scuffles. That's when we discovered something that changed everything. A young researcher in India found patterns in both the Empire's and the Collective's communication signals. They weren't just messages, they were tests. Every interaction, every response we gave was being analyzed against criteria we couldn't even comprehend. We were lab rats in a cosmic experiment, and both sides were studying our reactions. The tension reached its peak yesterday. The Collective gave us an ultimatum. Choose to join them within 24 hours, or they would release the information about Earth's resistance capabilities to the Empire. Meanwhile, the Imperial ships had moved close enough that we could see them with ordinary telescopes, their massive forms creating artificial constellations in our night sky. Humanity faced its greatest decision: join the Collective and potentially become pawns in their game against the Empire. Stand alone and risk becoming a battleground in a conflict between cosmic superpowers. Or was there another option, something that neither side had considered? As I record this, world leaders are gathering in an undisclosed location. The GSI has activated every defense system we've developed since the Empire's first visit, and in research facilities around the globe, scientists are working frantically to understand the true nature of these tests we've been unwittingly participating in. The clock is ticking. In less than 3 hours, we need to give our answer to the Collective. But something tells me that humanity, true to form, is about to do what we do best: surprise everyone, including ourselves. With just minutes left on the Collective's ultimatum, something extraordinary happened. Our global quantum communication network, a project rushed into existence after the Empire's first visit, detected a third signal. This one was different, more subtle, almost invisible beneath the electromagnetic noise of the two alien fleets. The source? It was coming from Earth itself, or more precisely, from deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. A previously unknown structure, buried under 3 miles of ocean and 2 miles of seabed, had activated. Carbon dating would later reveal it had been there for at least 100,000 years. It wasn't Imperial technology, nor did it match anything from the Collective. This was something else entirely, something that had been waiting for precisely this moment. The structure began broadcasting a message that made both the Empire and Collective ships retreat to a defensive position. The message was in perfect English, Mandarin, Russian, and every other human language. Protocol guardianship activated. Earth's evolutionary path protected under Ancient Accord Section 7.3. All interference prohibited. Turns out, we weren't just some random civilization that caught the Empire's attention. Earth was a designated sanctuary world, placed under protection by a civilization so old that both the Empire and the Collectives seemed like children in comparison. The ancient structure wasn't just a transmitter. It was a guardian system designed to remain dormant until humanity faced a specific level of extraterrestrial pressure. The really mind-bending part: according to the data streaming from the Guardian system, humanity wasn't being tested by the Empire or the Collective. They were being tested by us. The entire Sanctuary program was designed to study how younger civilizations interact with developing worlds. Earth wasn't the subject of the experiment. We were unwittingly running it. But here's where it gets even more complicated. The Guardian system gave us access to a tiny fraction of its knowledge base, and what we found there shook our understanding of human history to its core. The various myths of ancient advanced civilizations. Atlantis, Lemuria, the lost cities. They weren't myths at all. They were previous attempts at human civilization, each one carefully monitored and preserved in the Guardian system's memory. We were civilization attempt number 7. The previous 6 had reached similar technological levels before destroying themselves or being corrupted by premature contact with alien civilizations. This time, something was different. We had achieved something none of the previous attempts had. We maintained our independence and unity in the face of both Imperial and Collective influence. The Empire and Collective ships remain at the edge of our solar system, but now they're joined by representatives from other galactic civilizations. Earth has become the center of a diplomatic crisis that spans the galaxy. The question isn't about who gets to claim Earth anymore. It's about what happens when a sanctuary world surpasses its guardians' expectations. As I stand here in the newly established Global Space Defense Command Center, watching the holographic display of the alien ships surrounding our solar system, I can't help but wonder, did we just graduate from some cosmic experiment, or are we about to face an even bigger test? The Guardian system is still revealing new information hourly, and each revelation raises more questions than answers. The Guardian system's final revelation came exactly 48 hours after its activation, and it hit us like a thunderbolt. Those visualizations we've been studying weren't just data, they were memories, not recordings of past civilizations, but actual preserved human consciousness from each previous attempt at Earth's civilization. Our ancestors hadn't vanished. They'd been waiting, preserved in the Guardian system's quantum matrix. As the world watched through global broadcasts, the Guardian system initiated what it called the Convergence Protocol. Holographic projections appeared in every major city, showing us glimpses of those past civilizations, their triumphs, their failures, and most importantly, their sacrifice. Each previous attempt had voluntarily entered suspended animation, preserving their collective knowledge and experience for future generations. The Empire and collective forces watched in stunned silence as representatives from all 6 previous Earth civilizations materialized in the UN General Assembly. They appeared as solid holograms, indistinguishable from modern humans except for a subtle blue glow. These weren't just recordings, they were our ancestors, awakened from a sleep that had lasted thousands of years. The truth they revealed transformed our understanding of everything. Earth wasn't just a sanctuary world. It was an incubator for something unprecedented in the galaxy. Each civilization had contributed a crucial piece to a larger puzzle. The first mastered clean energy, the second achieved perfect harmony with nature, the third developed quantum consciousness, and so on. We, the 7th attempt, had achieved something unique, true independence without losing our humanity. But here's the real kicker. The Guardian system wasn't placed here by some vanished ancient alien race. It was built by humans, future humans, creating a temporal loop to guide our own evolution. We were both the experiment and the experimenters, the guardians and the guarded. The Empire and Collective had unknowingly played their parts in a grand design spanning millennia. As I record this final segment, I'm watching something incredible unfold. The representatives from our past civilizations are helping us integrate their knowledge and technology, but not before warning us about the responsibilities that come with it. The Empire and Collective fleets have withdrawn completely, bound by laws so ancient they dare not challenge them. Earth has become something unprecedented. A world where 7 distinct versions of humanity coexist, each with their own unique contributions to our shared future. The Guardian system, its primary mission complete, has transformed into a bridge between these civilizations, helping us navigate this new reality. But perhaps the most profound change isn't in our technology or our status in the galaxy. It's in our understanding of ourselves. We are no longer just modern humans. We are the sum of all 7 attempts at civilization, each failure and success contributing to who we are today. The real test wasn't about standing up to the Empire or resisting the Collective. It was about becoming ready to meet ourselves. As night falls over New York, I can see the holographic cityscapes of our ancestor civilizations shimmering alongside our modern buildings. A visual reminder of how far we've come and how far we have yet to go. The stars above no longer represent an unknown frontier, but a heritage we're finally ready to claim. 1 year has passed since the convergence, and Earth has become something unprecedented in the galaxy's history. The integration of 7 human civilizations hasn't been without its challenges, but it's led to advances that even the Empire's most advanced worlds view with astonishment. Our cities now blend modern architecture with elements from all 7 eras, creating spaces that seem to exist in multiple times simultaneously. The Guardian system, now fully integrated into our global network, serves as both a historical archive and a bridge between our various versions of humanity. Children attend schools where they might learn quantum physics from a holographic teacher from the 3rd civilization, while their environmental studies are led by experts from the 2nd. The wisdom of ages is no longer lost to time. It's alive and teaching the next generation. Perhaps the most remarkable change has been in how we view ourselves. The knowledge that we're part of an unbroken chain of human achievement, each civilization building upon the last, has given us a sense of purpose that transcends national borders or temporal boundaries. We're no longer just citizens of countries. We're custodians of a legacy that spans hundreds of thousands of years. The Empire and Collective have established diplomatic relations with Earth, but it's different now. They come as equals, sometimes even as students. Our unique blend of 7 civilizations' knowledge has created solutions to problems their societies have struggled with for millennia. We've begun sharing some of our innovations, on our terms, of course. Last week, I visited the new Global Heritage Center in Cape Town, where representatives from all 7 civilizations work together to plan humanity's future. Watching a quantum physicist from our time collaborate with an environmental engineer from the 2nd civilization and an energy expert from the 1st, it's like seeing history repair itself, filling in the gaps that each civilization's fall had left behind. The Guardian system recently revealed another fascinating truth. There's room in its matrix for more civilizations. We're not the end of the line. We're just the first to achieve the full convergence. Future versions of humanity might join us, bringing their own unique contributions to our shared story. The thought that we might someday be the ancestors helping to guide a new civilization, it's both humbling and inspiring. As for me, I've been appointed as one of the first temporal historians, documenting how these 7 versions of humanity are learning to coexist and grow together. Every day brings new discoveries as we unlock more of our shared heritage. The questions we once had about ancient mysteries, from the pyramids to lost technologies, are being answered by those who were actually there. Tonight, as I wrap up this report, I'm sitting in my apartment watching the sunset through a window made of transparent solar panels, technology from the 1st civilization, refined by the 3rd, and perfected by our modern engineers. The holographic cityscape shows all 7 versions of New York overlaid on each other, each one visible if you know how to look. It's a reminder that progress isn't always linear. Sometimes it's about rediscovering what was lost and building something new from the pieces. The stars above us hold no fear now, only promise. We know who we are, not just as modern humans, but as the sum of all human achievement across multiple civilizations. The Empire's initial visit wasn't the beginning of our story. It was merely the catalyst that helped us remember who we've always been. And so, Earth stands not just as a planet that said no to a galactic empire, but as a testament to humanity's endless capacity for renewal and growth. We are 7 civilizations united as one, reaching for the stars not as conquerors or subjects, but as inheritors of a legacy greater than any empire. This is not the end of our story. It's the beginning of our next great chapter, and this time, we're writing it together.